Hey guys, Nick here. So today we're going to be taking a look at my 2026 Honda Foreman in camo. Now there isn't a whole bunch of changes for 2026 and there's some good reasoning behind that. And so as we talk about the Foreman layout today, we're going to talk about why they haven't made some changes. And I got a great example to show you that here today. So let me go drive it over. So this unit here on the left that we're going to be comparing to isn't a super special Foreman piece. This is a 2016 model, which was the 500 motor before they went to the 520. But this Foreman has been used by a farmer in the past 9 years, and he's put over 7,400 miles on this unit, which is a lot. Now, if you were to follow the dashboard correctly in the manuals and change the oil every time it was supposed to be done, this unit would have been changed about 12 times in its lifetime. But according to the farmer's records, this unit has only been serviced about 4 times in that lifespan. I believe the first oil change was done over 1,000 miles when that's supposed to be done at around 100. So this by no means has been an extremely high kept unit. And yet, over its 9-year lifespan so far, it doesn't smoke, it doesn't have any ticking, the valves haven't been done on it. All the servicing has either been the fluids a few times, it has had a starter put in it, and that is about it. No other extensive rebuilds or servicing has been done to this unit. It has some newer front tires on it, and it still has the original tires that are all bald in the back. So this should be a neat little video to kind of compare and go over what has Honda changed in that period, but also how well and durable these machines are. As if you've heard of a Honda, they're well known in the realm of they're either unbreakable or that they last forever. And I think this is a great example going into the durability of a Honda that you're not going to see out of other makes on the market. Now, I'm not here to sell you on the machine, but I think it's a neat little perspective to take a look at on these and why Honda hasn't made some changes. Now Honda, of course, though, is very much overdue for some changes on their Foreman and Rancher models, but we'll get into that later on. So let's get started and talk about the old unit, and then we'll get into the new unit. Now starting off with the Foreman here, cosmetically this unit is pretty well aged and beat, right? We got some cracking in the plastics, some complete separations, of course all the natural fading from all the sun. We got, well, what's left of the seat. You know, all the grips are worn right out. You got scratches and all the rusting over the racks. So all the normal aging you would expect on one of these units. But what is amazing is how mechanically sound it is. Turn our key on. And before we start it, I'll show you this dashboard. 7406 is our mileage. Then we have 1,256.5 hours. And let's start it. And yeah, I mean, you can tell cosmetically it's pretty beat. There's just a lot of sun fading, a lot of scratch marks. The racks aren't all bent up on this one though. And then if we come under here, you'll see the 2016 model right there. Of course, we got some big separations in the plastics, just, you know, worn right out. Pretty worn out shift lever, all your grips. Parking brake has been worn right out as well. So cosmetically, this machine is very beat, but mechanically it is extremely sound for its 9 years of use. And even if they are, let's say they're light usage over that 9 years, that is a lot of miles no matter how you go about it, and not a lot of oil change cycles on that. Which, if you know a Honda product, you know your oil bath for your motor is the same as the transmission. So that doesn't do any good for the gears and all the clutches either. but it shifts really smoothly still. If anything, it shifts extremely smoothly because everything's so broken in. But you know, reverse, everything works. There's no gears missing. Everything is there mechanically. That is quite the unique piece to take a look at. But let's talk and take a look at the 520 now, do a walk around on that, what Honda has changed over those 9 years, and then what Honda should change and improve going into the future. Alrighty, so taking a look at my Foreman for 2026, we got some cosmetic changes and a couple mechanical changes. Now it's visually the same body style, right? All the fenders and everything is the same dimensions in the chassis, but we have a few cosmetic things. Our halogen headlight is a different assembly size, the shape of it, which was off of the Rubicon, then they brought it to the Foreman. So that wasn't exactly a new design. Now with the racks, they did something different. They got rid of these metal bars that used to go in the front and on the back, which is on that green Foreman, and that would help keep things in, you know, on your rack area and not sliding off the front or sliding off the back. But they did that because Honda has their own built-in cargo, internal storage things you can buy. I'm not a fan of them, but you can buy them, and they lock into these, and that's why you have all this plating here. But I wish they would go back and have the bar here, because it functionally was actually a really nice feature to have, and you lost some functionality without it, or it just made it a little bit harder to use them now. You got storage up front, which you didn't used to have before, and of course, I just have different paperwork for mine. Your coolant reservoir and your check is all under here with your fill there. Of course, this is what a new one looks like, and your 26 sticker right there. So it all looks pretty much the same, just, you know, not so beat. Honda has upgraded and put newer camo finish on their units. You can get as an added option. It is a paint color you can get, but it is a bit more money. It's about $500 more. That green Foreman, you could get it, but it was a different camo at the time. This is a newer camo finish Honda came out with. So this is really sharp. This is a $500 option for this camo. However, this will not scratch and will not mar, and it won't fade like the traditional Honda red or green you can get on the other units. So you're paying, you know, a substantial, a bit more amount of money, but you are getting a lot better, more age resistant finish on the machine. And when you're spending 8-9 grand on a unit that is a good looking machine and you want to keep it nice, it's not a bad way to go, especially if you're a hunter too as well and you don't want to be seen in the woods. Now let's talk performance. So this is now a 520cc fuel injected liquid cooled single cylinder engine. So we've gone up 20cc since 2016, and we still have the same 5-speed semi-automatic transmission. Now you can get the Foreman with power steering as an option, but this one does not have that. And these drive really great without it. We do have like reflectors on the front and the back of the machine now as well, which that 16 doesn't have. And it's all the same with the straight axle in the back. If you want independent, you can get that, but you have to go to the Rubicon chassis and you get the same drivetrain out of it. Now in terms of improvements, we are very much overdue for a body redesign. It's a good looking machine, but we need something new, and it's gonna be hard for people to want to upgrade or for me to want a new one, this versus a 2014, because they're really so similar. Now mechanically, they have done some changes to them, but visually is also a big selling factor in today's to buying one of these units. We need to see some sort of LED headlight and taillight setup on this. It's just kind of a must at this point. We do have a 12-volt outlet, which is nice, but we should have some sort of USB-A or Type-C cord, and they could actually even put it in this storage compartment right here. Would be a perfect spot for it to charging your phone. Stuff like that people want to see, and especially I think the number one thing I would love to see is a bigger display. It's the same display since 2014, and it's just simply underwhelming. They could do coolant temperature as the actual temperature number instead of just a bar on it, or they could just, you know, give you a second trip. They could just do something a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer. Some white LED. Of course, you get diff lock, 2-wheel, 4-wheel drive on this. That's all great. Power steering is great, but we need some more cosmetic things like that. That would just add to the experience on the machine. I think a huge one too is we need to see these start coming with a winch from factory. basically everyone else on the market, you can buy one of these machines in this class of a top of the line with a winch from factory. They still don't make a Rubicon or a Rancher or anything with power steering with a winch in it. You can get the machine loaded, but you still can't get it with a winch. And when they throw in a winch, they should also give you an aluminum wheel on it. You're paying $500 extra for the fancier plastics. We should be seeing an aluminum wheel with that plastic and or with a winch. It just should be an option. If they up it to $1,000 more for the finish with a winch and the aluminum wheel, then that makes it more justifiable, and that could be a really nice package setup. But we just need to see something like that with some bling. That's where a lot of people are starting to buy some of the other makes, especially some of the Chinese stuff. It's because they can get those LED headlights, big fancy displays, get these big seats on them, winches on them, fancy looking wheels. And they're not buying and getting the reliability anywhere near the Honda, but they're getting all those little features that in the next 2-3 years they think is all great. And then 5 years down the road, when things start to happen, it's not such a great experience and investment. Well, that's going to do it for this video. It's starting to pour here, so I hope you all did enjoy talking about and listening to me take a look at this 9-year-old Foreman and my brand new Foreman and talking a little bit about it. So bottom line is we really need to see some cosmetic upgrades. We are overdue to see that, and from the customer standpoint, it definitely would be really nice to see that, because a lot of other, friends and buddies are going to have some of the other makes, maybe a Polaris or a Can-Am. They're going to have a lot of those features and options that you can't get on these, and it makes it kind of a bummer. Now, of course, these are going to really heavily carry in their performance in the sense of the reliability, not so much the horsepower output, but the reliability you get out of one of these units. So I hope you all did enjoy. I know for sure you will all be leaving comments down below over your thoughts and your experiences. If you have a high mileage Foreman or a lot of hours on one of your Honda products, leave it down in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys got out of usage out of your machines. And there's nothing that you can't beat than Honda's reliability on these units. And that is just the #1 selling point of them. So it's good that Honda doesn't do any drastic changes performance-wise, but we do need those cosmetic upgrades, and that will keep people like me wanting to take my machine and upgrade into a newer unit. So I'll have some riding footage, a little bit of them. I hope you all did enjoy. I got them both running right now. As you can see, they just sound identical. It's the new one. One of the something in the exhaust or covers is a bit loose, but it's right there otherwise. But I'll go take them for a spin. I hope you all did enjoy this video. Guys, all have a great day. Bye.